Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com, and this is another episode of Ask the Lawyer. Earlier this month on Labor Day, what was supposed to be a fun day of sea diving and exploration in California turned to tragedy aboard the dive boat Concepcion when a fire broke out in the early morning hours with 34 people dying. Today, we're going to ask the lawyer about what we know about what had happened and what happens next for the victims and their families. And here to answer our questions is attorney Jack Hickey of Hickey Law Firm in Miami. He is a board-certified Admiralty and maritime lawyer, and he can offer some insight into this terrible accident. Jack, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Hi, thank you. Good to see you.
Can you walk us through, as far as you know it, what actually happened on board that boat?
So the Concepcion is a 75-foot vessel. It had on board 39 people, which is actually a lot of people for a 75-foot boat. It was on a dive trip, an overnight dive trip. It was off Santa Cruz Islands, off the coast of California, near Los Angeles, actually. It was about 3:15 a.m. The morning of, as you said, September 2, this year, Labor Day. Supposed to be a nice time. One crew member, because 5 crew members actually survived, one of those crew members said that she heard a loud bang in the middle of the night, something like, as I say, 3:15 a.m. She did not hear any smoke detector go off at any time. She experienced a lot of smoke and heat, fire, which quickly filled the vessel at that time. The NTSB has determined that probably the fire originated in the galley, which is in the middle of the vessel, and it quickly consumed the vessel. Apparently, there was no easy way out for 34 of the people on board. Only 5 survived. All 5 were crew members, including the captain. Did survive, did get out in time, and no other people were, other than those 5, survived. We do know that the vessel was owned by a corporation in California. We do know that several federal agencies are investigating this fire, including the FBI, the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, which investigates major transportation incidents like this, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and of course Santa Monica County Sheriff's Department is also investigating. They have actually searched the offices of the owners and operators of the vessel for documentation that is a part of this, what appears to be a pretty deep investigation.
One of the reports, Jack, said that all the crew members were, it was in the middle of the night, but that all the crew members were asleep. As far as you know, are there regulations about that sort of thing? Are there supposed to be somebody awake at all times? What's the story there?
Yeah, the story there is we and they, the criminal authorities, are looking into at least 2 sources of violations, at least 2, maybe more. One source is the fact that you're supposed to have, with a vessel, commercial vessel of this type, you're supposed to have a lookout at all times during the night. And they apparently did not have anyone, they said, awake as a lookout at the time that this happened. The owners say, oh, we had a lookout because somebody checked in at 2 a.m. That's not the same thing as having somebody, awake and alert and designated as a lookout, not a partier, but a lookout at that time. So that's number one. The number 2 violation is that a vessel of this type, that is a vessel that's greater than 26 feet in length and also is a commercial vessel, has to have smoke detectors in certain areas of the vessel. And of course, the galley is one of those areas. Apparently, There were no working smoke detectors in the areas required at that time. The third thing is, of course, what's the source of ignition, and was there a violation there, and what was happening? We don't know that, or certainly not that the nobody other than the FBI and the law enforcement authorities do know that, but we'll be anxiously awaiting the results of their investigation on that.
When it comes to determining who's potentially liable in this sort of a case, is it crew? Is it the captain? Is it the owner of the boat? Is it somebody else, or could it be all of the above?
It is perhaps all of the above. To me, it looks like it's the captain of the vessel is the person on board who's in charge of all operations and everything on board at that time. Period. End of sentence. If the captain is on board and there are no operational smoke detectors, yes, the operators of the vessel and the corporation which owns the vessel, corporation which operates the vessel, certainly are liable, but the captain is absolutely liable for the operations on board, even though the captain may not have provisioned the vessel and may not have inspected it before. He or she is responsible for that. And the operators of the vessel are also, of course, responsible.
You mentioned that there's a lot of different organizations investigating, and obviously there may be criminal charges and cases that are brought. As far as civil cases, is that the kind of thing that will probably wait until after all the criminal investigation is done, or might those continue at the same time?
So the owners of the vessel and what's called the owners pro hac vice of the vessel has rushed to federal court. And they filed something like 10 days ago. We have a copy of the complaint here, and I've read it and I've been over it. And they've done this very quickly. They didn't have to do it this quickly. People usually don't do it this quickly to limit their liability to the value of the vessel. And of course, the value of this vessel, the Concepcion, is now zero. It's a burned out hulk. And there's not much left, frankly. So they've asked the court to do this. Under the statute, there are numerous exceptions, thank goodness, and the exceptions are frequently asserted, and the injured people frequently are able to overcome the limitation through the exceptions. So the civil liability. So what I'm getting at is that the owners have started the process now, right, of civil liability, in the sense that they have demanded that the claimants come forward. To my knowledge, the court has not yet entered its order with the timetable within which, defining the timetable within which people have to make the claims, but that should be forthcoming.
And what are the options when you mention claims? What are the options for, obviously, for the families of the victims in this tragedy?
The families of the victims need to hire maritime lawyers to ensure that they preserve their claims. I am a maritime lawyer, and they need to hire a maritime lawyer who is well versed in the limitation of liability actions and in personal injury to preserve their claims. And without preserving your claims in federal court in this action that the owners have started. The owners have started this. It's not like you're going looking for litigation. The litigation is following them. And so they need to go and to preserve their claims by retaining a maritime lawyer.
It sounds like more than ever, time is of the essence in this case.
Time is of the essence.
Jack, thank you so much for all this helpful information. I appreciate it, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been Attorney Jack Hickey of Hickey Law Firm in Miami. Please take a second and subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the button at the bottom of the screen. And if you want the best information about maritime accidents, or you're ready to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, please visit AskTheLawyers.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com. All right.
Thanks, guys.